Hey guys, welcome to this episode of The Rachel Cruze Show. So today I want to talk about a few things that are the most common that people get wrong about money. Now, the point of this episode isn't to make you feel embarrassed or guilty if you're someone who has a history of some of these bad habits, but I do want to shine an important light on some of the common misconceptions when it comes to budgeting and spending. And there are a lot of these voices out there in the personal finance world. And I want to make sure that you're hearing the ones that are pointing you towards a path where you can make lasting progress with your money. So first and foremost, let's talk about credit cards. So despite the U.S. hitting over $1 trillion in consumer debt this past August, credit cards are still something that a lot of people think that they need to have to get started financially or to be successful financially. And people claim that credit cards are helpful to build credit in order to buy a home, protecting against fraud, paying for emergencies, and getting rewards and cash back and points and all the things. So now, is all that true? Do credit cards do all those things? I mean, to a degree, sure. If you don't have money, could it be an emergency fund? Yeah. Does it help you build credit to buy a house? Yes. Like those things do happen, but there's a better way to do all of those things versus through a credit card. So you can actually get a house, get a mortgage without a credit score called manual underwriting. I don't want a credit card to be your emergency fund. I want you to be your emergency fund, because if you have an emergency, then you have a situation and then you go into debt for it. So now you have a money situation. So now you got two things on hand versus if you have cash saved up. So there's ways around this world of credit cards. And I'm telling you, it is the best. When you don't owe anyone anything, even people say, well, I pay mine off at full at the end of every month. Sure, that's the case for some people. But still, there's that idea that when you pay in the moment, percentage-wise, statistically, you pay less because you spend less because you know the money's coming right out of your account. Now, in reality, I see so much more harm than good when people choose to go into debt for their purchases. And the truth is, again, that credit card debt is a huge burden to millions of people every single day. So in my opinion, I would just avoid it altogether. And I've never had a credit card, and I've been able to do all the things that we just talked about, and I'm still living. I'm still alive. So listen, just say no. Use a debit card or use cash. Before I share the rest of my list, I want to talk to you about Telestrations. So Telestrations is one of my favorite games right now. It is so wonderful. And a lot of people who are trying to get out of debt or saving for an emergency fund, they've cut back a lot on their expenses. And you need to get creative in ways to have fun during the weekends or at night with friends and family. And board games is up your alley, and specifically for Telestrations, because it's really easy to learn. And I like it because it's not like a hardcore, intense game. I do like some of those sometimes, but this is one that you can kind of just talk and mingle while you play. So it's just really fun and relaxed and easy. So start making memories today by purchasing Telestrations at Walmart or wherever you buy board games. All right, the second misconception is the 50-20-30 budget rule. So I did a recent episode on this. So if you're interested in a deeper dive, then I will leave a link in the description below. But at a high level, there are some flaws that I see with this type of budgeting. Number one, it's too broad, right? So someone earning $40,000 and someone earning $100,000, you have to be able to say specifically where that money's going in that broad street of saying, regardless of what you make or what financial situation that you're in, these are the only numbers to go by. That's why I love the idea of budgeting a zero-based budget, because you're telling your income where to go. Because with this other form of budgeting, the 50-20-30 rule is that there's no goal setting, there's no strategy. It's just the same thing no matter where you are, because there's no adjusting. But what I love about a zero-based budget is that you're able to be very specific about your situation. So if you're saving for an emergency fund, you're able to look at your budget and you're gonna cut expenses. You're gonna have less of a lifestyle for a season to get to your next goal. Again, zero-based budgeting is the way that I budget. And if you haven't checked out Every Dollar budgeting app, make sure to do that. All right, the third thing that people tend to get wrong when it comes to money is choosing whole life insurance versus term life. So whole life insurance is extremely expensive compared to term life, and whole life is for your whole life. Versus if you do the Ramsey baby steps and you get to a point in your life where everything's paid off, including your house, you have lots of money in your 401k and Roth IRA, you have cash available. So if something were to happen to you, and if you still have people dependent upon your income at that time, they're going to be taken care of. You're going to be self-insured at some point during the Ramsey baby steps. But before that, I would say to get term life insurance. It's very inexpensive and it's just life insurance, because with whole life, they charge you more and they mix this idea of investing and your insurance. So they take some of your money and they invest it at a terrible rate versus if you just took that money and put it on your own, in a Vanguard account or a mutual fund, then you're going to get a better rate of return that way. So again, term life insurance is what I recommend. It's what Winston and I have. And we use Xander Insurance. So you guys, check out Xander. It's great. You just put in your information, hit a button, and you can see what your policy could be. They make it so easy. And everyone needs life insurance, okay? Remember that. If someone is dependent upon your income, you need term life insurance. All right, the fourth thing that people get wrong about money is that risky investments like crypto or day trading are smart moves. This is so difficult because a lot of these things have such a short-term track record, or people that have been doing it, the track record shows that you end up losing money in these risky investments. So I understand that when I say, hey, fund your Roth IRA, fund your 401k, pay off your house, do these other things, it's not exciting and like risky and like, oh my gosh, let's see what this is doing. And like, we're gonna get big wins and oh my gosh, look what's happening and pull out of there. Like, it's all this like this huge game. The way I teach it, it is boring. It's not gonna be that exciting. But the key is I want you to put your hard-earned money into something that has a proven track record, to have something that I know with confidence. Sure, the market goes down some, absolutely, but it also goes up a lot. But over time, we can see a proven track record. And so retirement plans like a Roth IRA and a 401k, these are great, smart places for long-term investing. So if you're going to do risky investing like crypto or day trading or something else, if you want to do it, I want you out of debt with a fully funded emergency fund, doing everything else like your 401k and all the things that are pretty much guaranteed, and then taking a small percentage and doing what you want over here. But I would not go and bet everything. I knew people, you guys, that cashed out their 401k to buy crypto. And it's just not smart. It doesn't have a long proven track record. So wait until something proves out over time. And I would rather do that and get in at the end of it than risking all of my money on something that does not have a proven track record. All right, finally, the fifth thing that people get wrong about money is believing the myth of good debt. So I'm a firm believer that debt of any kind is never ideal. It's really tough. A mortgage is the one type of debt we won't yell at you for. But everything else, you guys, I mean, when you look at scripture, when you look at common sense, when you look at people who have done this stuff, when you don't have risk in your life, when you don't have Toyota Motor Company taking your paycheck and Sally Mae and MasterCard, and you're taking your income and your paycheck and paying out all these people versus paying yourself and investing and doing wise things with your money, over time, you just lose out on so much opportunity. So instead of making all those people rich, I want you to make yourself rich, right? And to build wealth over time for you and your family. And so this idea of good debt, I just don't see it existing. I think card debt, mathematically speaking, is not wise. Credit cards, I hate playing the game. Percentage-wise, you spend more, like we talked about earlier. Student loan debt, well, we can see where that's gotten us. Obviously, the ROI there has not happened. And yes, it sucks that tuition is what it is. And it's still this idea that the schools can charge whatever they want, but we have to be smart consumers too. So all of it together, there's just not, this idea of debt that is good. And a lot of people will use debt for real estate. And you'll see a lot of TikTokers or people on Instagram Reels or influencers doing this. And you know what? If that's the path that they choose, it's just very risky. And you can see over time that not just mathematically is it risky, but it does something to you. And John Deloney talks about this. When you don't have autonomy, when someone else owns a part of you, there's not true peace. Like your heart rate, like your body knows when stuff is happening. So for you to have complete freedom, it really is one of the best ways to go about it. And if you're someone who has a history of some of these money mistakes that we've been talking about, I just want to encourage you, you can change your mindset. You can make a different choice. And so you can actually choose, hey, if I don't like where I am right now financially, you have to make other decisions. You can say, I want to make different decisions with money. But I would recommend making those changes as soon as possible. And if you need help, I really would encourage you to check out Financial Peace University. It's a great place to start. FPU is a personal finance course that consists of 9 individual lessons that walk you through exactly how to take control of your money. So you can go to RamseySolutions.com to learn more and get signed up there. And send this video to a friend who maybe is kind of on that good debt train and may want to challenge that thought. So remember, you guys, to take control of your money and create a life you love.